Hey, good morning. So it's 5:38. We have about 15 minutes before I have to run, and I know that you probably have a busy day today. So, as my title suggested, I'm doing my core workout from my personal page today for a couple reasons. The biggest is that as the months get crappier, the winter time comes, I'll be doing a lot more at-home workouts, and I need a little bit of help coming up with a name for my page. Come up with a couple things like Training with Trinsey or Transformation by Trinsey. So if you can, drop me a line and let me know what you think I should name it. Bonus points if it has some alliteration. Even more bonus points if it has my last name in it, because I kind of really like it. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to come down into a plank position. Best way to warm up the body. By the way, I'm the only person in my house who's awake right now. So late, I don't know what they're thinking. We're going to hold here, breathe, belly button pulled in toward that back. Head is right in line with that neck and spine. I want you to squeeze everything. So the back of the body, front of that body, really zip up through the inner thighs too. Those little inner thighs, man, sometimes they get neglected and they really shouldn't. Alright, from here I want you to take one foot. I want you to tap it to the outside of that same pinky, drive it back in, and same thing other side. If you hate this plank on your toes, you can always drop down to those knees. Same thing, we're still pulling everything in, tightening through that whole body. You can totally hear in my voice too that nobody's awake. 2 more each way. Try and keep the rest of that body nice and still. So those arms right underneath the shoulders. Go ahead and hold those feet, hold that plank. This time I want you to alternate those legs. I want you to drive one knee in. As you do, you can kind of give a little curl with that spine and then lower down. Really squeeze through those glutes as you tuck those hips up toward those shoulders. Those shoulders, which by now should be nice and warm. So just a little rounding of that back. Good, a couple more each way. How's that upper body? Really warm? And let's go ahead, hold that plank, hold. Squeeze everything, hold 3, hold 2. Go ahead, come back onto those knees. Sit back on those heels, nice big stretch. Let's go ahead and take one arm, rotate, thread it through that other arm, let that shoulder drop to the ground. And same thing other side. Awesome. Let that shoulder come down nice and low. You'll feel a good stretch through that upper back, through that arm. And let's go ahead and rock back forward into that plank pose. I know, today's workout is going to be like killer planks. They're my favorite, but you know what? I took it easy the last 2 weeks. So we sort of have to kick it up, right? Alright, this time I want you to alternate. Drive that knee to the outside of that same elbow, come back to start, and same thing other side. Again, you can always drop down to those knees. You're still squeezing that belly button right back toward that spine. You're keeping that upper body nice and still. Those eyes are about 6 inches ahead of you. And go ahead, hold that plank. Still squeezing through those glutes. You're pinching those cheeks together. This time I want you to hold a pen right between those cheeks. You're driving that navel right toward the back. From here, let's press those hips nice and high up toward the ceiling. You get that hamstring stretch here. Oh, it feels so good. Go ahead, let that head hang right between those elbows. Let's take one more stretch here. Take that left leg, reach it up toward the sky. Go ahead and bend through the knee, open up through the hip just a little bit. My runner friends, this is one of my favorite stretches. And go ahead and relax that leg down. Same thing other side, still pressing those hips up with that leg, bending through the back of that knee. Go ahead and rotate just a little bit, open up through that hip. Awesome, go ahead and relax that leg down. I want you to walk those hands in toward those feet. Come up to a standing position. And as you lean forward, walk those hands out in front of those toes, all the way to that plank pose. Hold for a moment. Walk those hands in, stay bent, and walk those hands out. Good, so you get that little bit of a stretch again for the backs of the legs here, and you get that work in that midsection. Come out to that plank pose on this one. We're going to hold. I'm just going to scoot back a little bit. So I had to do today's workout in the bedroom. Not much space. I had to get creative. The phone is currently resting on my husband's hamper. We're going to hover over the floor. So again, knees or toes. I want you to take that torso, drop it down. We're above that carpet. Keep those elbows tucked in. Squeeze those glutes. Hold, hold, hold. And go ahead, collapse all the way down. Take that upper body, one hand on top of the other, resting that head or cheek, chin on the tops of those hands, lifting the lower body, no knees, no thighs on the ground. Those quick heel beats. Tapping those backs of those feet nice and quickly toward one another. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze again through those inner thighs. Maintaining a nice natural breath. Focus on pushing that navel down toward the ground this time. You'll really squeeze up through that corset area. Hold 3, 2, and we're going to take those feet. We'll swim this time. Little flutters up and down. If you want, with that upper body, you can pump it in unison, or in opposition, I guess I should say, with those legs. Keeping that head right in line with that neck and spine. That nice neutral position for that noggin. You've got 4 more. 3. And go ahead, relax this down. I want you to roll over onto one side. We're going to target those outer thighs. Another big important muscle group. So, hips, knees, both 90 degrees. I want you to take that top leg. We're going to rotate so that that top knee is right above that bottom knee. Those toes are angled up towards the ceiling. You want those toes just outside that shoulder. We're going to open up through that hip. Those toes are close to those bottom toes. Rotate again, so knees meet knees and feet meet feet. Good, so you've got that nice ball and socket joint in there. You want to keep it nice and moist. Good, a couple more like this. And I want you to take that top knee, come close to that bottom knee, still with that angle, and we're going to shoot that leg straight up and out. So drive that bottom knee in as you come down and extend away. You should start to feel a little bit warm, a little bit heavy on that top leg. Imagine that you have about a 15-pound dumbbell resting on that outer thigh. So we're going to make this exercise a little bit more difficult. It'll help you to slow it down a little bit too. The slower we go, the harder it is. Good, we've got 2 more. And take that top leg, we're going to lower it just a little bit so it's just outside that shoulder. And I want you to take those toes, point them away. I want you to draw small circles about the size of a golf ball back behind. Good, we're still pulling that belly button in toward that spine. And let's go ahead and reverse this. I totally woke up with like snot nose today too. I don't know if anybody else did. Change in temperature, I guess. And we're going to take that top leg, flex that foot, so let me see those toes. You'll see those laces. I went little ups and downs here. Again, you have something nice and heavy resting on that outer thigh. Hips are stacked one on top of the other. Belly button in toward that back. Let's go 2 more. And relax that leg down. Let that blood count come back in. And let's go ahead and roll down onto that back. Take those knees, draw them in toward that chest. Big exhale, tuck the chin in toward the chest. Raise the shoulders up and away from that floor. And let's go ahead, take those arms and legs, reach them in opposite directions, circle them around, draw those knees in toward the shoulders, and lengthen again. Good, so as you do this, you really want to focus on pulling that navel down in toward that back. I want that stomach to be nice and hollow, kind of scooped out. Good. You never want that small of that back to rise up and off the floor. We have 2 more like this. And we're going to keep those shoulders lifted. Take a leg, any leg. Draw it in toward the body, let that opposite leg come out. Take this leg, extend it straight up again, little stretch for the back of that leg. And we're just going to switch these legs, driving them in toward the chest. Good, keeping this at your own pace, keeping the rest of that body nice and still. So we want to minimize any kind of shaking side to side, any kind of like chicken bobbing with that head up and down. And let's go ahead and take these legs, draw those knees into the chest, relax the shoulders down, give a little massage side to side. Let's come up into a bridge position before we hit that opposite outer thigh. So feet are coming down, squeezing of the glutes, keeping that squeeze whole time, okay? Promise. Promise me that you'll contract the back of that body whole time. Take that midsection, nice and easy. We're peeling up one vertebrae, one little backbone at a time, rising up so that you have about a line between the knees, the hips, all the way up to those shoulders. And I think we did hip circles last week, so let's go ahead with those. Again, remember, we're squeezing back here a whole time, so you're going to press up a little bit, circle around that clock, coming back to noon, other way, rotating all the way around, still squeezing through those glutes. You'll feel that nice little pinch in that low back as you come close to that top position. Feet are staying nice and still. Those heels are nice and light on the ground. And let's hold that bridge. We're still squeezing those glutes, right? You haven't let go. Squeeze them nice and tightly. Hold here a couple of breaths. And nice and slowly, go ahead and roll down one tiny backbone at a time. Awesome. Let's go ahead, flip to the other side. We've got to hit that other outer thigh. And I have about 3 minutes till I have to get out of here and meet a client. So, knees and hips, 90 degrees. We're going to take that top leg, point that top knee toward that bottom knee. Toes are looking away. We're just going to open and close that top leg. Nice and easy. So I am a huge fan of making the body even. I think we probably all are. So I get a little anal sometimes about the number of reps that we do on one side versus the other. A couple more. Good. Just letting everything right in here do that work. The toes and the kneecaps are just along for the ride. You have 2 more. And we're going to take that top leg, take that knee, leaving it angled toward the ground, those toes up. We're going to kick away, drive that knee in toward the chest, and kick away. As that leg comes in, you should really feel a nice pinch right around that navel area, right around the side to the low area. That lower abdomen, too, often gets neglected. I know I talk a lot about muscle groups that get neglected. The ones that don't get neglected, biceps, triceps, abs, of course, or the rectus abdominis. I guess the legs don't really get neglected. But there are so many. Good, give me 3 more like this. 2. And take that leg, we're going to drop it just a little bit so it's still outside that shoulder. I want those golf ball sized circles right toward me, pointing the toes of that sneaker. And go ahead, rotate to the other side. Good, we're still keeping everything nice and squeezed tightly in here. We don't want any kind of hip shaking, hip movement, momentum as that leg goes. So tighten up through that belly. Go ahead, take that outer leg, flex that foot so the laces are looking at you, toes are looking at me. Give me those little ups and downs. Good, remember, nice and heavy on that outer thigh, moving through like thick mush or really pushing against a spring. Let's go 2 more. And go ahead, relax that top leg down. I want you to come to those knees. Go ahead and sit back onto those heels. Reaching with that upper body. Nice work today. We kind of took it easy though today, didn't we? Go ahead, shift all that weight to that working side. And hit the other side. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I mentioned in the beginning, shoot me a line. Let me know what you think I should name my new page. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of at-home workouts. We'll do, obviously, big focus on core, but I also want to incorporate muscle conditioning, some high-low, and some HIIT training, which is redundant. But anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. See you next time.